the whole time. He's in, he's in, he's in. Yes! Look at that. Oh, and I'm off again.
I'm going to say it, that's quite good fishing.
Right guys, you're absolute legends. Welcome back to the channel. I thought I'd do something a little bit different as per usual, but I thought I'd go through with you guys what an average carp angler can actually achieve in a year. So I'm going to go through the yearly highlights I've had angling with all my mates.
Are you videoing?
Yes, why?
Oh, I wonder why you're talking. What are you doing?
And some of the big things we've come across. If you're one of my ground team or regular viewers, you'll know full well it's been an absolute roller coaster this year, and just shows you what life is genuinely and why fishing just helps it. It just helps it. If you want a bit of a laugh, want to sit back and enjoy some of the highlights of this year, stay tuned, and that's what we're doing. Also, this will be my third giveaway video, and this is going to be another 5 kg worth of Parker baits. So guys, if you want 5 kg worth of Parker baits, and you'll get to choose any type. If you want the OG fish, if you want the fruit or nut, you get to choose. Make sure you watch till the end if you want to know how to enter for that. Anyway guys, let's crack on and get into it. The first session I had in January 2023 was actually down the Birch Syndicate. This was actually my third ever session down the Birch, and unfortunately that one was a blank. Being my third only ever session, I'm still getting used to the lake. When you're carp fishing, a lot of us will get sucked into, oh, I want to fish as many different day tickets as possible. I want to fish there, I want to fish there, I want to fish there. But you've really got to start to learn a lake. You have to spend the time in on one lake if you want to know how to crack it. And the Birch is a tough one. Everyone I speak to about the Birch Syndicate, it's one of those where you think you've cracked it one day, you'll come back and use the same tactics, which I'm discovering at the moment. I'm actually currently down on the Birch at the moment, sat in my bivvy on a 24-hour blanking. Next session I had in January was actually down Wadmill. It was with my good mate Callum the Camo King.
Yeah, I'd love to be a fisherman. I'd be any type of fisherman.
A fisherman.
Done. Let's get packed up. Yeah, we're not fishing anymore. And this is the first time we fished with each other for a while, and it was our first session together in 2023. It was actually such a laugh.
Yet again, the Bream King strikes again.
I'm done with solid bags. That's your little orange.
Don't blame me.
That's your little orange wafter you gave me. You just like, all those hook baits you give me, have you just coated them in like mega bream trainers? If there's one bream in a lake, I'll f***ing get it. I believe it was the first time I was using maggots as well. I was actually fishing, spotting out maggots in winter, because you're allowed to do that down Wadmill, so no harm there. To be fair, after a while we did start hauling the fish. I believe the first, I remember we got a lot of ghosties. I had the first one was a ghostie, lovely little ghost carp got there. And to be fair, that night it didn't take long for Callum the Camo King to do his thing. He absolutely smashed it. He ended up with 7 carp overall that night, kept us up all night, wanting pictures of all the fish, and I was being the good wingman as you do, getting up, taking the photos of him, filming it all for him. Eventually I think I ended up with 4 fish in that session, and it was great fun. It was great being back with Callum. It was quite an important moment of the angling journey, because it was actually the first time as well we met Ben Parker face to face. Me and Ben had been chatting through YouTube for quite a bit beforehand, but those boys were on a social, on their winter social on Big A's, where Lewis Smith was just doing what he does, tearing up. So it was really nice to meet Ben for the first time, and actually start that bit of a relationship. Oh God, that sounds very dodgy, doesn't it? A bit of a relationship. But actually get a good friend there and actually start a new friendship. Also, it wasn't the only friendship we started there. You're about to meet the nicest guy, I think, in the world that actually carp fishes. And he's got a massive smile on his face. Is that good news? Oh no! But ladies and gentlemen,
I'm just gonna quickly pause. I'm catching up on Love Island, so.
South Coast Angler, everyone. South Coast Angler.
As if I just said that as well.
Did you say you were watching Love Island? That is.
No, I didn't. I said I was catching up on.
Boxing?
Yes, that's the one. Yeah.
Who actually spent more time in our swim, having a bit of a social and a few beers the first time we met him than when he was fishing over on Big A's. Oh, I was like, hang on a minute, yeah, I know, Jesus.
Mate, I made sure it was the right bivvy.
Of the South Coast Anglers.
Not drinking.
Camo, yeah. Because obviously Wadmill's just attached to Big A's, so we had a right laugh and the usual antics ensued and daily shenanigans. I'm gonna get a bait boat.
Wow. Don't knock it till you tried it.
Can I see your Tinder profile?
No, absolutely not.
Really? Can't I see some of the birds?
Yes!
You unruly gentleman. But it was a really good session. It was a good sort of opener for the year and how the year was going to go. Also, I'd just like to add, even though Cannibal had more fish, I got the biggest fish that session, which was a 19-pound mirror, which was a gorgeous thing and most welcome. Good fun for Wadmill. February came along and my God, I thought my winter fishing had peaked, but it hadn't. This was actually when me and Maya went to Kefin Mabley Lodge on a lake, and we were actually on the spring pond. I believe it was we were in the Osprey cabin, and this is my first time fishing this place, and it really kicked off. Like, there was a white pole, I mean, there was a white post that I would be casting to about 14 wraps, and the first day was quite slow. It was like a bite when it got dark. It was a lovely mirror, but the colours on these fish were gorgeous, real dark wintry colours. What I took away from that was the importance of letting swims rest. If you're somewhere for a long period of time, like for a week, I remember the hits that we got out of that were, the big hits came literally when we had if I left the rods out overnight, or if I put a load of bait in before we went out I think we went to a farm. Went to a farm, left a load of bait in there, rods all out, come back, and then as soon as I put the rods in, they were flying off. Go on, I've just cast that, did you see that? So I've literally, as you just saw, cast that white pole rod out, and honestly, on the drop, it's gone. Yeah, I think I had an awesome double take on camera when I was actually holding a mirror, a really nice dark mirror up for a photo, and that's when one of the rods screamed off as I was filming. And okay, look at that. Oh, and I'm off again. I've literally just got a double take on camera. Lift it, twist it to the right, Maya. So yeah, might have to put this one back, get him in the retention thing and sort out this carp. It was silly. Maya brought in her new PB. Maya's just got the one in the net and it's a chunk. It might be, I think it could be a 20. It's really fat. Look at the size of the belly and the back on that. Look at it. That's a nice fish. That could be the biggest of the trip, I don't know. We're soon going to find out. Which is a 27-pound lump. She could, bless it, she struggled to hold it. But yeah, it was good. It was absolute. My very recognisable fish had a bit of a deformed tail, pale mirror, fat as anything belly, real fat belly on it. It'd been munching, loves its food. And it wasn't the only PB caught that trip. I actually also had a PB common carp, which was I think about 28 pound, I think it was. Yeah, it's 28 pound common. But the numbers of fish were insane. I think we had 10 carp overall that trip, but they were big fish. But guys, if you haven't been to Kefin Mabley and you want a little cheaper holiday away in a hot tub with a double bed to stay, fishing off the back of your deck, on the decking by the lake, because you're in private bit of water, I would highly recommend Kefin Mabley Lodge on the lake. It's really decent, because I know some places charge an absolute bomb, but if you want that simple luxuries, great taste to take your missus, great fun. March I came back to the Birch for my 4th session, and that was when it was another blank for me that session, but it taught me about fishing in extremely windy conditions.
Well, here goes nothing.
It was absolutely mental that. The next session in March, it was toward the end of March, was actually with me and Callum, Camo King, my good mate Sonny, and Carpy Matt, as I call him, all went down to Shearwater for a 48-hour session. That's the first time the second time I fished Shearwater, and again, conditions were just horrid, absolutely horrid. They were absolutely disgusting. And to begin with, it wasn't going well for me. I had a couple bream, I was getting breamed out, fishing with particle and Shearwater, a bit of a dangerous move, I know, but getting the bream. And we were fishing like towards the boathouse, we're on the point swim, fishing towards the boathouse where there's an underwater riverbed where it's a bit deeper. I do believe Aaron managed to land a carp. Oh yeah, Aaron South Coast. Yeah, so yeah, it wasn't just those boys. It was actually Aaron South Coast angler came for a day session with us as well. He had some time off work, came for a day. So it was good fun. All three of us all sort of properly fishing together for the first time. So it was all quite good bonding. I always just laugh because Aaron had his little spider helicopter bivvy in those conditions, bless him.
Enjoy the weather, mate.
Yeah, amazing.
Holding this helicopter.
Offline, this thing.
Wasn't having the best of time with that. Shearwater was a good place to know for like big hits, and we did eventually start pulling them in. I pulled in a lovely two-tone mirror to begin with. Callum had a few, and it was all of a sudden that out of nowhere, Sonny banged one in, like an 18-pound mirror, but as he was banging one in, Callum hooked up as well. So they all turned on at the same time.
So Callum's still playing his one. And now Sonny's has just screamed off. Oh, put your bum away, mate. Oh, that was a screamer, wasn't it? Proper one-toner. Good lad. No, but it's gonna stay in that corner. So, Sonny's got an 18-pounder. And let's have a look at this one. So,
It's a 20, I'm sure.
you reckon it's a 20?
It's 20.
Oh! Oh! Oh, cow!
Can you hold that net? I want to look it. Can you hold that net?
Callum got a lump of a common, an absolute lump. It was 27 pound. 27 pound, and we looked at the catch app, and because we didn't really know much about Shearwater, we're quite new to it, and the catch app said the biggest fish in there was 28 pound. So we're like, was this the biggest fish? We did not know if that was the biggest fish or not. Later on, I did find out there actually were some 30s in there. I've seen some photos of them as well, so I know it was like a 30-pound mirror in there as well. So I know it wasn't the biggest fish now, but at the time, I was so buzzed. One of the most amazing places I've ever fished. It might be up there, my most scenic places, and it's a bit surreal because obviously long leads down the road. You'll be sat there at night watching your rods, and you're going to start to hear lions roar or wolves howl. Surreal place, really magical, really magical. I'm sure a lot of you watching me have fished Shearwater before, and I'm sure you'd agree. Probably the most scenic place I've ever fished in my life. It was, the conditions were getting bad. I had so many snap-offs. We're getting pretty grumpy, but by the end of it, when some of the boys had been home, me and Callum on the last night, we caught a few. Callum had his first ever carp on a zig. I tried the same thing. I had one on a zig, but lost it. That sets precedent for what the rest of the year was like. So I think I had about 4 or 5 fish in the end, and Callum had quite a few, if that's sane. Also guys, takeaway wise, if you're down Shearwater, Gino's Pizza, absolute legendary, quick delivery, and the guy delivered to us was a legend.
Aaron is nice. So this is our pizza guy. He's going to drop off our pizza. Mate, you'll be on YouTube later if you want. So.
You guys been here since 8 o'clock this morning?
Yeah, mate, we're here. We're here all night tonight, and those.
Oh wow.
And then the next night. So.
Before I knew it, it was April, and to be fair, April there wasn't too much fishing. Big venues, there was one, but started took my missus' sister and her boyfriend to a little lake called Hazel Lake. Never been there before. It's a little fun little pond basically. pond sort of style fishing with catching little small carp in there. Maya got a lovely koi carp with like the top of its tail missing, so real character fish, and it was good to get Carly and James their first ever carp as well. Even though they're small, it's still good fun to do. So you know, at the end of April was actually a big session where me, Camo King and Matt on Callum's sort of fake stag do all went for my first ever 72-hour session at Big Haze at Todber Manor. Didn't know what to expect. Usual pranks were pulled on each other.
I'm sorry, mate. No, I'm actually genuinely sorry. I can't control this thing. It was just started coming over. I'm being serious. I'm being serious.
Winding each other up. Bickering. We managed to land a point swim. Quite keen to fish it. I mean, I had a swim where I could fish to the island, which I was happy on the edge of the island. And that one was a bit different. Like, everyone was putting in little bits of bait. I know Todber was quite renowned for doing well on like freebie boilies, like 10 or 15 baits over a mesh bag. I just thought, screw it, I had a load of parkour, I just put loads of it in. To be fair, the first day and night was empty for me. Matt did have one, he had a nice 20-pound common, which was good to see. Callum was really suffering. He actually snapped off he got picked up by a catfish trailer that wiped his rods out at one point, and he had a few bream using his bait boat. He struggled a bit, which is interesting. You don't normally see Callum sort of lose his head like that. It was the next day when the boys went to the next morning. It was about 12 o'clock. The boys went to the shop up the road. So they left me, I was on my own, I was fishing, and I put a load of bait out. And I was fishing fake sweet corn, 2 bits of fake sweet corn at the time, and I cast my rod out, and I was waiting for the drop. Didn't feel the drop. I was like, oh, okay, it's annoying. It's very shallow at Todber, so it's quite hard to sometimes get the drop. It's like bum bum. But yeah, anyway, so I've put the rod out. It's on the bang on the money, on top of all the bait I put out. Put my rod on the rod rest. And I was putting the bobbin on, and I was trying to tighten up the line to the bobbin using the clutch, and it wasn't tightening up. And I was like, what's going on? Is this the wind? Like, what? It wouldn't tighten up. And then my other rod started to beep. I had a zig on, and then my zig rod started beeping. I was like, what the hell? So I thought my zig rod had gone off. I thought there was a fish on. We lifted it in, nothing. Reeled that in. I was like, what is? And I could see my line from the other rod as I was trying to tighten up. The line was like going to the middle of the lake. I was like, what is going on? And so I lifted that rod up, the original, with the fake sweet corn on, reeled down. Boy, I was onto a monster.
Oh my god.
I'm not facing on the trailer. Right there.
Mate.
There you go.
Honestly, this is huge. It feels how weighty it was.
What's that?
Margin.
Oh, is this one out battery?
No, it's still going.
What can you do? You can't make a catch, you can't do anything with it. You either snap the line or let it take.
How long has it been? 10, 15 minutes? This is the heaviest fish I've ever felt on the end of the rod. It comes up, Jesus. We've just seen it and it looks like an absolute chunk of a cat.
30. Right.
That's taken that. So that is eaten all that fucking bait through that. Still going. Jesus, that's tight drag as well. Every time it's gonna pop up.
They're like snags.
Snakes.
Snags.
I don't want it on the snag there.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Little did I know at the time it would be the biggest fish I've ever caught at that time in my life. And that was my first experience of a big catfish.
You reckon you got this, Cal?
Just wait till you want
Trying to lift. Come
over me.
Go in! Okay, get in! Oh, yes, go backwards. Okay, hang on. Scoop! I will jump in.
Yes!
He's in! Come on! That's a monster, boys!
You nearly knocked him in.
£53 that was. Absolute monster. It was funny because when I hooked into it and I was playing it, I was panicking a bit because I had a feeling it might be a cat because it was taking me, it took me across everywhere. One side of the lake, down the other side of the lake. I was come back again. I was worried it would go back around the back of the island and snap me off. I've never experienced anything like that. That was my, never, like if you never caught a big catfish, guys, I'd highly recommend it, but it is just like you hold on for dear life and there's nothing you can do. I had it on maximum drag. If I put it any more, the line would just snap. Mental. Really enjoyed it though. I remember the boys were still at the shop and they were still on their way back and I had to phone them when I was playing the fish going, boys, get down here, I have something massive on the end. So yeah, they came and gave me a hand and I'll never forget that moment. Even to top off that magical session as well, we were blessed by getting to witness an osprey.
Maybe.
So this apparently is an osprey.
It's gonna go.
And you say they're rare?
They're really rare. They get them in Scotland. Look, there he goes, there he goes.
There he goes. Oh! Oh! That is sick. He's got one.
There you go.
He's got a fish.
There you go.
Oh! Got it on camera.
For a bird lover like me.
Is that a bird lover thing?
That's really cool.
Look, he's flying off with the fish. He's literally flying off with the fish over there.
Matt, who's an absolute bird lover, said to us, because I heard a crash in the water and I come out and there was a bird flying off and I was like, what the, did he just dive? He'd dove for a fish. And Matt said, that's an osprey, mate. It's how rare they are. I think there's only about 4 or 5 in the country. Maybe 2 nesting sites down in Devon where Todber is. So he had like the live feed of where the nest was, where they put a webcam camera to watch it. Absolutely magical. I'll never forget that. What an awesome session. Fortunately, Callum had blanked, but me and Matt also got another like catfish out. So Matt had a carp and a catfish. I'd had the £53 catfish, and yeah, Callum had a few bream. May went quite quickly. It was actually when I actually joined Parker Baits. It was after that big haze session. Ben got in contact with me and said, do you want to be part of the Parker Baits ambassador team? And do you know what? There was not really any hesitation. I've already liked Ben. I know he's got great baits, does great stuff. The lads and the family feel they have are awesome. Highly recommend it to anyone else. Remember, if you do want to use Parker Baits, want a bit of money off, use my code CHUNKY. I'll give you 10% off. But yeah, so that's when I joined them and swapped over to their baits. So I headed down also in May. Yeah, first ever time I fished linear at Hardwick and Smiths. Unfortunately, that session, I've never been on Hardwick and Smiths down linear. It's always a bit emptier. It's always got swims free normally compared to all the others like B1, B2. So I went on there for a 24-hour session, just a quick one. No carp, unfortunately, but I did end up getting a PB tench. Next session in May was down here, the Birch again. Of course, going up with the running streak, blank. So then June appeared. June was a good one. It was a good one. So obviously the weather's warming up now. It's getting a bit more carpy. The carp are on the feed a bit more. You can put a bit more bait in. I think it was just before they were spawned, so they hadn't spawned yet. We were a bit on the edge, but I actually took one of my giveaway winners, Chris, Carping Chris. He actually came with me to Big Haze, and I paid for it because he was the prize winner. And it was, do you know what, it was really, really good. Obviously I was a bit nervous. You're nervous about when you fish with people you never met before. You don't really know how it's going to go. But Chris was a really good lad. It was a real pleasure to meet him. I'm really glad I've made friends with him. And he showed me how to fish, really. We got down there. I got one of the most sought after open water swims. It was a bit slow to start with me. I mean, they were showing like non-stop, and I put the zigs. I was like, Joe, what? I've got such bad history with zigs. Still yet to catch fish with a zig, but put the zigs on. Ended up, I pulled in one. I think it was like about 25, 26 pound mirror, a gorgeous thing. In the end, it would come off a baited spot, not on the zig. But then Chris had taught me. He was laughing at me because I was like a Jack Russell. Every time I see a carp show, I'm like, oh, I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to keep swapping and changing things. Chris did his rigs. He was confident with how they were fishing, and he just left them for, I think that evening, he just started tearing up. Eventually, the zigs started working for me. I got 4 hookups on zigs while I was there. 4 fish hooked up, one of them being, 4 fish hooked, not one landed. I didn't know what I was doing wrong. One of them I lost felt like a lump, and it really to this day stays with me, that fish. Really does. They all hurt when you lose a fish, but you know when you feel a plodder on the end of it? Oh man, I wasn't the happiest of bunnies, but I was still glad I managed to have the one in. And Chris, I think he had about 4 or 5 fish overall. One of them being his biggest was a 27 pounder, absolute lump, gorgeous fish. And it was nice to see a guy down there called Kevin Deere, always using the Parker baits, and he's always smashing it down Todber on big A's. And he actually pulled a fish called Big Mac, big common out, about 34 pound. So absolute pleasure to see that. Next one in June was Albans Lakes, and this is brilliant. I was actually with one of my schoolmates, Sam. This is what carp fishing does. It gets you in contact with people you haven't talked to for years. And since school, I knew he liked his fishing, but we hadn't talked to each other for about 20 years. It's been nuts. So carp fishing actually got us talking to each other again. So yeah, we got there, and it was going to be a 48-hour session, and the heat was insane. It was a proper heat wave, so hot. We were all like huddled around this little brolly trying to hang in the shade because the bivvies were far too hot to stay in. Eventually, because it was so hot, the girls, my sister and my missus, actually went home early. It was left me and Sam. It was the session where I managed to catch one of the most mental things on camera. I was spodding out about 14 wraps, and I'd put a load of sloppy zig mix in the margin because I'd done with fishing with zigs. It wasn't really happening. I was getting the fish off the bottom over there. And as I put the slop in the margin and I was spodding out, by my feet, I saw a tail, or like a movement, right by my feet. And I was like, that's no way, that's a carp. And then I could see the vortexes coming up as if something is eating. By our feet, with my feet next to them. And I said to Sam, I was like, Sam, get a rod, bring it over. So Sam put his rod, literally just dipped it in by my feet where I was standing. And we got this on camera, it was awesome. This from this. Sam's just put a rod right there. And I've been spomming the whole time. He's in! Yes! Yes! I've been spomming the whole time right here. And it's just not... What is it? Is that a cat?
I don't know.
After Sam had landed that fish, it was a lovely fish as well. I think it was 20 pounder. Good 20, long common. After he'd landed that, do you know what, I thought, I'm gonna keep a rod in that little spot in the margin. There might be more than one there. I ended up with 4 fish out of there. 4 fish. 4 fish out of that margin spot. I did have one out in the open water as well to begin with. And then Sam later on the next morning just tore up fishing on the surface. He had like 20 fish out, I think, off the top, on the dog biscuits and floaters. And he actually was very kind and let me play one of them in. He's like, right, yeah, have a cast of my floater rod. I had a little jig out. And yeah, brought one in myself. Great fun, real great fun, just fishing and catching those mental moments on camera. July was an awesome month for it. My mate James, he's got a barge boat in a private marina, and we actually were on there the year before doing a bit of pike fishing. And while I was chatting to a couple of the residents on the boats, there was carp in there. And they showed me pictures, there was some big carp in there. I was like, right, so July this year, I wanted to get my first canal carp. So we went there, and it was just fantastic. I've never fished a marina before in my life for carp, and I was pleasantly surprised at the Parker Baits OG fish. Boilies were just tearing up on there. So I ended up getting a 15 pound common. I got a 17 pound common. James got a 22 pound common, and then I got a 23 pound common. Also got a that's what's mental. I also got one of the bites on camera. James, I'm in. I literally had to. I've just done that rod. Just done that rod.
So that island's coming off really well.
Yeah, that island. Not bad. Ah, good hit. Come on the OG fish. I've literally just put that out.
Go on, he's in.
He's in. There we go.
Nice one, James.
It was great fun, absolute great fun. Good to have Stitch with us on that trip as well. Stitch was showing us how, sometimes taking your best pal, your pooch, fishing doesn't really end up too well, because he showed me his taste in bream.
What's that, Stitch? Oh, he's got camera shy. Look at that.
The end of July was actually what I had my birthday session. Come back down here on the Birch, and supposed to do a 48, ended up being a 24 because we had a bit of disaster with the old bivvy we were using, and it was chucking it down and it started leaking.
Right guys, unfortunately we called it. We're going to pack up because the rain's going to get worse and the leaks are getting worse. There's no way we're going to be able to do another night in there, so we're actually going to pack up.
Yeah, so we actually called that on the head. We actually left early. Left early. It was nice to see Blake though that session catch a few fish, and Blake's just the legend at the Birch who just tears up, catches constantly. August came around and I actually went down to Linear for a 48-hour session with Callum, the Camo King. We hadn't fished for each other for ages. It was a good seeing his return. You could tell from this session we were just buzzed to be fishing with each other again.
Are you videoing?
Yes, why?
Oh, I wonder why you're talking. How are you doing?
I missed you, mate. I missed fishing with you.
It's just shenanigan ridden, this session. Just absolutely having a ball, having a laugh.
Don't just creep up on people and do that. Marvellous. What?
Sit down.
What?
Sit down.
Why?
You don't come stand there.
Why?
Also, I learned a lesson with pigeons, and how pigeons can actually be quite brave and quite vicious.
Still got tonight, and that box common's still out there. You never know. You never know. So yeah, all the 3 rods are on the baited spot. This is really my last roll of the dice. With any luck, we've got till lunch. We've got tomorrow morning as well, so we've got till lunchtime before we pack up. Fuck!
Oh, damn, man. That's your head.
That was like it. I'm actually living in fear, boys. Like, that pigeon shook me up, and look. He's up there just watching me.
But anyway, yeah, so Callum actually ended up pulling in his first Linear complex carp, which was a lovely, it was about a £25 mirror. Gorgeous fish. Got that one in. I struggled for the first 45 hours, not even that, 46 hours. I had nothing. I was blanking, nothing to report. And as we were packing up, Callum was watching my rods as I was putting something in the car. I was walking back from the car and I hear this, Tom. And I was like, what the hell? Is that my name? I go over there, and next thing I see is Callum in the water with one of my rods. And he's like, your rod's just torn off. It's gone down all the way down the edge of the lake. Panic mode sets in, so I just chuck everything off. I'm in bare feet, run in the lake water, grab the rod off him, and whatever it was on the end, it was big. It was big wherever it was, and it snagged me up in weed. And I remember pulling it back very gently for ages because the weed was going bub, 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 bub. I could feel it grinding on the weed. I was like, I don't want to lose it, don't want to lose it. Whatever it was got in close, and I remember shouting at Callum to get the weed off the line.
He won't be in the weed, will he?
He's probably beyond the weed.
He'll be on the weed, Cal. Can you take that weed off? Oh, he's running. Cal, he's running. Callum, he's running. Get the line clear. Okay, good.
The more I was playing that fish, the more I was realising it's probably a big catfish. And when we got it in the net, it was a big catfish. What a fish to end on the session as we're packing up. Very happy. My new PB. I never thought I'd break my PB catfish again this year, so that was like £61. It was a £61 cat. And it wasn't long after that before we were back at Linear again. Linear for the Brasenose 1 social. Unfortunately, Aaron and Callum couldn't make it on this one, but it was my first Parker Bates social with the rest of the team, and it was awesome. I mean, it was good for me to meet the others, have a good chat with Ben, actually have a proper chat with him. It was good to see chunks and PBs getting smashed everywhere on that. It was a slow 24-hour for everyone, but that night it just started kicking off down one end of the lake. Unfortunately, the end of the lake we were on, there had been no fish out at that point.
Just need a bit of magic to happen. Where is one? Let me find one. Got to be one around here somewhere. Hang on, I think I found one. Got one. Got one.
And one of my solid bag rods toward the middle, about 24 wraps, just went screaming off at 10 o'clock on the last night. And I had all the little youngsters helping me.
Oh, Rana, how'd you switch it over, Joe? This is me.
Oh no, yeah, that's the front screen.
Oh.
Get the fish in. Luke, Josh, Jay, all of them helping me. I think actually Luke actually stacked it, I think, with holding my camera, which was quite funny.
I'll follow you with the lighting.
Oh no! Luke, I'm gonna have to get some camera, mate. Luke's just... Oh, Luke, mate. Do you know what? He's gonna do the filming for me. He did that for...
But yeah, got the fish in. That was a 29-pound mirror, and it was gorgeous, just under the 30 mark. And that was my first ever fish from the linear complex. Well, first ever carp from the linear complex. And I was really, really chuffed with that. Can't beat it, can you, when you beat like a spell on a complex and you actually get a decent carp out. That session was awesome. Like I said, it was all topped off by this weird light show with these planes that come across. Oh, it was awesome. It was so good. It was so much fun. So much fun. So September came, and I actually got back down on the Birch for a 36-hour session, and this time I was desperate to catch a fish for me. I'd had so many blanks on it during the year, and to be fair, quite soon after I rocked up, set up in the dark, put a couple of bits of bait out on the Asbo swim. That first morning, first light, one of my rods screamed off. The solid bag rod with the mini mix and the magic beans on screamed off. And would you believe it? I had a new PB common in the net. It's funny, when that fight as well, whatever it was, I knew it was a good fish, and it took me everywhere, took me in the reeds, and I remember seeing it go into these reeds down my left-hand margin, and I just thought, I am not losing this fish. So I just thought, screw it, no waders, I haven't got a set of waders. Just jumped in, got the line off the reeds, unsnagged it, fish went back out in the water, and I managed to end up netting it in the water. It was also where a guy called Lloyd got the biggest eel I've ever seen in my life out of here. So the biggest one I've seen on the bank. We didn't even weigh it. We should have weighed it really, but we actually ended up releasing it for this creepy little thing. I'm not a fan of eels, I've found out. But it was also nice to see Lloyd get a PB. But yeah, so the blanking streak on the Birch was over. And funny enough, like clockwork, the next morning, same time, bite time, obviously, I had a little stocky. It was probably about 10 pound, but gorgeous looking little mirror. So I had two fish out. Yeah, the next session at September I had was actually down Farlow's. I was supposed to be going down Albans Lakes again with Callum, the Camo King, and Matt, but after a bit of disease scare down there, they actually closed up the gates, and after about a 3-hour drive from Wales, I wasn't allowed on the complex. So I didn't know what to do. Phoned up around a few places. A couple of the boys I knew were on Farlow's, Josh and Jordan. They were, a couple of Parker Bates lads were on there, and they said, oh, just come down here, come down Farlow's. So I managed to end up getting on the factory bank with them, and yeah, managed to see Jordan catch a lovely mirror while I was there. And again, it was only a quick 24. I didn't really know what I was doing. Found a couple of nice spots, gravel spots out in the water. Another rod by an eye, like an overhanging tree. Put a bit of bait out each spot. Solid bags again, magic beans. And then the next morning, yeah, two bites. Got one in, which was a lovely fish. I'll show you that in a sec. But the other one actually come off. It was a mirror, come off right by my net, and it was just sat there and couldn't get it. but I was happy because I already had one in the sling anyway, and that was this gorgeous dark common. I think it was about 23, 24 pound, I think. That's probably the prettiest common I've ever caught in my life. Those colours on it were impeccable, absolutely amazing. And it just goes to show those quick 24 hours random at random places can pay off. Even though you don't really know what you're doing, you just listen to the advice given to you by the local anglers and the people that fish it regularly, and it can work. You can get something as rewarding as that. October came around, and to be fair, October was the session where me, Callum and Aaron all went down to Big Hayes for a 48 hours. Aaron only was only there for 24 because of work commitments, but me and Callum were going to be there for 48. So it was great going down there. Again, usual shenanigans.
You got my fat arse on video?
Probably. My fat arse on video.
I expect that from Tom, but not from you.
But it was great to actually have a good sort of time together as well, because we don't actually get a lot of time fishing with each other, us three. But yeah, that was one of the most roller coaster sessions I've ever seen for Callum. So Aaron managed to land a lovely one in the morning before he left. So he broke the blanket, and it wasn't long after, about 4 hours after, my margin rod on a solid bag went as well, and I had a gorgeous, scaly, platey mirror. Absolute massive apple slices on the thing. Absolutely, I can't even, I've had some real scaly bangers this year, and that was one of them. And unfortunately, obviously, because Callum's obviously seen this, he's seen me and Callum's fishing in between me and Aaron as well. That's where he was and sort of swims. And it's one of those where you just don't know why he's not getting bites. He did have a baby catfish to begin with when he first got there, but that was it for ages, and he's starting to panic a bit. And then on the final evening, one of his rod goes off.
Yes! Good lad. That feels... I'm not saying anything, but it looks... It's kiting right. Oh, you absolute legend. There we go.
It's so careful of it.
Now, as you can imagine, when he lost that fish, the atmosphere, I can't even describe it to you. I felt so bad for him. We thought it could have been his last chance of a fish.
Well, everyone, that is the roller coaster. That is carp fishing.
But do you know what? They were still showing. I got his head up. He got a solid bag back on. He cast it to a showing fish, and it was like 15 minutes later, we could watch the bubbles fizzing up, going towards the solid bag. It was like scripted, almost. His rod goes off again.
As we were saying, the solid bag that you just put out on top of the fish's heads, it's gone again. There it is over there. Bring him, bring. As far as I can go. Oh, not done, not done. Come on, yeah, walk back if you can. Come on, Cal.
Get the net though. Nah, we've stuck the fish for that for a while.
Cal's chunk.
I'm gonna say it, that's quite good fishing.
And this one, he managed to land. And my God, it went from the most horrible feeling in the world to the best feeling in the world in the matter of half an hour. And we were both on cloud 9 then. We're both on cloud 9. We're just absolutely loving life. We just relaxed, we enjoyed the rest of the evening. We had the Rugby World Cup on. It was a great evening. And to top it off, before we left in the night, Callum had another one.
And he's got this lovely 20.5 pound mirror. 20 pound 8 ounce. Mate, it looks lovely.
Typical style, here he does. Absolutely smashed it by the end of it. So well done, mate. Well done for keeping your head screwed on that. I mean, I think I would have broken a rod if I was you at that point, so fair play to you, mate. Late October, I went to a place called Everdean Fishery with my good friend Kurt, the Carpy Traveller. It was a random one, it's a new fishery in Bridgewater. Real nice little place, real intimate. I really liked it. Tough fishing, very tough fishing. We actually both ended up blanking there, but it was just good to have the time again together. But we actually got called out.
Floor, so I think it was just a loop. No, I can't take you home. Where do you live?
Road Lane.
What?
Road Lane.
Road Lane? This is Plum Lane.
What?
You're on Plum Lane.
I know where I am.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Start beating people up. Why?
Hey,
Why would you start beating people up?
I will in a minute.
Why is that? Why?
We did have a bit of an incident with a local. He climbed over behind my bivvy one morning. I was fast asleep. Kurt's got on his drone footage where I'm fast asleep in the bivvy, and he's climbed over the fence. He's wrecked the fence behind me, climbing over, and Kurt's gone, oi! Apparently Kurt was trying to wake me up, going, Tom, there's a guy behind your bivvy. I'm just going, you'll see it in the drone footage, I'm just out cold, and this guy's climbing behind. But yeah, to be fair, after he went, he left, and to be fair, we had no other dramas, and it was absolutely fine. It was just a good session to be out, even though we both blanked, and we had good fun looking at the little baby carp and the future stock of Everdean. So yeah, I highly recommend that place if you want a little lake exclusive, about 4 or 5 swims where you and your mates can go and book the whole place out. Last month, November, was actually when we had the big Parker Baits Oxley's 72-hour social. All the ambassadors were there. It was a great laugh. Again, it was quite tough fishing to begin with. They were showing non-stop in front of me and my neighbour Jim, all over us, and I was so excited. There was one point I actually cast one of my rods out, bait lands, and I literally 5 minutes after, so I'm still putting the bob in and sorting out the clutch on the reels and on the bite alarms, a fish shows right where I put the bait, and I was going, oh! I was so excited. I did something a bit different. Everyone else started catching on just like small baits, like solid bags, mesh bags. I put beds of bait out, and I was sort of thinking, oh shite, have I ruined my chances here? Turns out it didn't. So Jim, actually my neighbour, landed one. He got first blood. Absolutely smashed it with a gorgeous fish. But that night, so the first night came, and that's when the weather started. It started raining that night, and I managed to pull one in. It was a gorgeous, it was smaller, like 15-pound sort of, 15-pound mirror. But then as I was put that fish back and I was just about to spom a bit more bait out over my spots, my other rod went, and I had this really old mid-20, it was a mid-20, also pardon me, it was a mid-20 scaly banger from Oxley's, real lovely fish. It was good to see Callum, the Camo King, he had one as well. Which was good to see because he wasn't the happiest with his swim draw. And also the next morning, Mr. South Coast, Aaron, who was also there, banged in another 30. He got a 30 from Oxley's. Real chunk. Good on him. Good on him for that. We'd all caught, we'd all happy, but that's when that the weather on that session just deteriorated and a full-on storm come in.
We're in a tornado! Oh no!
But after that storm had come in, and I think the second last night, so the second night, David Macker caught the late record. Absolute stunning fish. It must be about, I think it was 48 pound, 48 something. Absolute lump. Biggest fish in Oxley's, and also the second biggest fish on the linear complex. Absolute lump. Made up for him for that. That was what a moment. What a moment. It's unbelievable to witness that. Fortunately, one of my mates was asleep throughout that whole thing, so I thought he deserved to be punished and probably have the best prank known to all carp anglers pulled on him.
It's not your rate.
I'm doing a whole video dedicated to that, so if you haven't seen that, go check that out. But overall, another great experience with Parker Baits, and just a great experience with the whole family. it is a family, it's not just a bait team, everyone gets on. And Ben and Tom, the boys really look after you when you're down there, so hats off to them for pulling that one off, so thanks again, boys. And then the end of November was actually my last time I was down here, the Birch, and I actually, again, exciting fishing, get into a swim, see they're all shown on a far reed line, big massive one bossed right in front of me, and I thought, right, I've got to quickly get a solid bag out to it, and within 20 minutes that rod went off and I pulled in this absolute chunk of a mirror. 20, I thought it might have been a 30, but it was 29, just under. I borrowed one of the lads' scales up here because I didn't have any scales on me, and in the night, I was only here for 24 hours, so in the night put the solid bag back on that spot where they were boshing and showing, and had another one, which was absolutely gorgeous. I didn't have any scales on me, so I had to guess the weight on that, and I guessed it was a little bit smaller than the one I had before, so it was about 27 pound. Also in November, me and Maya had some pretty savage news on the 5th of November. I'll never forget it. It's one of those things no one wants to go through. Our pup, or our boy Stitch, who's a 6-year-old Frenchie, you would have seen him a few times on the channel. He wasn't very well. We took him to the vets, emergency vets, at 5 in the morning, and we were told the poor lad has cancer, and they found a huge tumour that was causing him internal bleeding. So on the spot, we had to make the decision. We'd just taken him off insurance a month before. On the spot, we had to decide to pay 3.5 grand to get the tumour out, because it's going to kill him if we didn't do it there and then, or we had to euthanize him. All you dog owners out there will know fully well how much they are like your children. He's part of the family. To be put on a spot like that was tough. I'm sure a lot of you have gone through the same thing, but it's really made me appreciate your dog companions that go fishing with you. Even though he's not the best behaved with me, I do wish I could have taken him out a bit more, but the point is as well, so we had the option of paying that 3.5 grand for the surgery to remove the tumour. There was a 30% chance it was benign and he'd live the rest of his life, 70% chance it's malignant and he has 4 to 6 weeks left. We went for the surgery, we put all of our life savings, we didn't really hesitate, we put all of our life savings into that surgery at the time. And they did, he did the op, they got the tumour out, needed a blood transfusion as well, bless him. Unfortunately, we got the results back a week later after the surgery that the tumour was malignant. So he's been given 1 to 3 months to live. The little man's still with us, he's still with us at the moment from me at the current time I'm making this video, and we've just been absolutely, obviously we're heartbroken by the news. We've been absolutely spoiling him with treats. He had pizza every day for about 2 weeks when I found that out. It's his favourite food, so I just screw it. Treating him, taking him, he had a chicken nugget meal, I think chicken nugget happy meal not too long after that. Devastating news about our little man. And my heart goes out to everyone who's gone through the same stuff. It's brutal. But he's still with us, and we're grateful for every day he's with us. So he's been 7 weeks, well, he's gone up to 6 weeks now, 6 weeks this weekend he's been going, so we're just hoping he keeps with us through Christmas. So next week he's still with us for Christmas and we'll be happy. But like with life and everything else, with death comes life. And the keener-eyed amongst you might have spotted, no, Maya hasn't been drinking more beer recently. She's got a bit of a bump. I've got a little one on the way. We're expecting our first child March 15th next year, so all guns blazing, I'm going to be a dad. I'm going to have a little one. I've been buzzing for it. It's going to be, I was, come on, as every dad knows, I was hoping for a son. To me, in my head, it's a lot less scary having a son than it is having a daughter. But no, I did say if I was gonna have a son, there wasn't a God of how I have been in my life. So yeah, God's given me a daughter. We expect a little girl in March who will be my new little angling mate. And guys, with the dog, with Stitch and the operation, when I say life savings, the 3,500 went into it. All the money that I'd made off YouTube, which wasn't a lot, it's not a lot, but it helped pay for that, and that's for you guys. So honestly, thank you. Thank you for all the support you've been giving me. It's really humbling. It's bloody humbling. This is why I like doing the giveaways, giving something back to you guys, giving you a chance, giving you back. Like, give you guys back something, because without your support, who knows if we would have been able to pay for that up. And because of you guys, I've been given 6 extra. I've been given 6 extra weeks with my boy because of you guys. So do a bit of a thank you as always, and help with and basically get another giveaway to you guys for your amazing support. In this video, I want to give you another 5 kg bait giveaway of Parker baits. Just to say thank you guys for all the support. So if you want to get involved with that, make sure you like this video, just subscribe to the channel, and all you've got to do is comment 2024 in the comment section below, and that's going to be what I'm going to use to pick a random winner. So make sure you like, subscribe and comment in the comment section 2024 2024, and you'll be in for a chance to win 5 kg worth of Parker baits for free. But yeah, once again guys, thank you for everything, for the support. It's been a hell of a year. It's been an absolute roller coaster. Obviously I got some massive life changes in 2024. What a journey. What an absolute journey 2023 has been. The support for the channel we're over 2,000 subscribers now, guys. It's growing so quickly because of you guys. You're the absolute legend. You're pushing it, and I really do hope to meet as many of you on the bank as possible. Everyone I've met so far, hope I come across okay, because I think it's just an awesome community. So remember, get involved in that giveaway, guys. Comment 2024 below, like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'll tell you what, guys, next year, I hope you will drop your guts, grab your nuts, and get on that bank. It's going to be a hell of a year next year, and I can't wait to get stuck in and see you there. I'll see you in the next one, guys.